Am I the a-hole for reminding my mom that she said we couldn't have a relationship with her if we didn't accept one with her husband? My mom has me, 27 male, and my sister, 29 female, with our late dad. He died when I was 10 and my sister was 12, and when I was 15, my mom got remarried with her husband Frank. From the very start, my sister and I had issues with Frank. We have both bigger and smaller issues. The two big issues were one, he insisted that nobody mentioned dad in his presence. It didn't matter who we were with or where we were, it was not allowed. This included the times he tagged along when we went to see anyone from dad's side of the family. He would invite himself and then enforce this rule, or he'd make us leave. Mom let this happen. Even on dad's anniversary or birthday, we couldn't talk about him if Frank was around, and that included asking mom if she wanted to come to the grave with us. Frank actually yelled at my sister during her graduation dinner because she had mentioned dad in her speech. 2. He inserted himself deeply into the relationship with our dad's side of the family. We could visit anyone on mom's side without issue. He didn't even care if we said anything to him. But the second it was someone from dad's side and he found out we only mentioned it to mom, he would scold us and insist we needed to ask his permission to see them. Then he'd tag along frequently and invite himself to see them too. This applied to a lot of things. Mom had already stopped coming with us before she even met Frank, but he insisted on being there. And if my sister or I said we didn't want him to come, then he told us we couldn't go. If whoever we went to see didn't want Frank inside the house, he'd say then we weren't allowed inside either. Once my sister moved out, he was angry that she spent more time with dad's side, and he tried to tell her what to do still. She was having none of it. My sister and I talked to mom about all our issues with Frank, and we told her we didn't want a relationship with him. She always told us we needed to have one with him to have one with her. We took her at her word, and my sister stopped talking to her. And once I moved out, so did I. We stopped going to see her or spending holidays with her and Frank. We didn't invite her over or initiate any contact. She brought it up a few times, how we were bad at maintaining the relationship, and we told her we weren't. We just weren't maintaining that relationship, but she ignored us. She tried to come and see us a few times. We told her no, Frank, so she never came. We let her birthdays pass without any acknowledgement, and when she'd tell us about Frank's birthdays, we'd work to forget the date. A few weeks ago, I got engaged. I didn't tell my mom or ask anyone else to, but the news got to her. She was upset she didn't hear it from me, and upset I said no to her throwing an engagement party for us. She never even met my fiancé, which was something else that upset her. She asked how she's supposed to meet her for the first time at the wedding, and I told her she's not supposed to. I said she won't be invited. My mom did not expect that at all, and she asked me why. I told her Frank is not welcome, and she made it perfectly clear she won't come. I reminded her that she said we can't have a relationship with her if we won't have one with Frank, and I told her it would be over my dead body that I have a relationship with him. My mom said we were supposed to love her enough to accept Frank, and I told her I do not have to have a relationship with a man who would kick up a fuss over my dad being mentioned in his presence, and who tried to control the relationship I had with my family. I reminded her dad is still my dad, and I'd find a way to incorporate his memory into the wedding. I asked her if Frank would tolerate that, or if he'd start yelling like at my sister's graduation. She told me she doesn't want to lose both her kids and she loves us. I told her we love her, but we're not willing to accept that man she calls her husband. Then she told me I was being so unfair, and when she said what she did, we could have talked about it more. That reminding her like this wasn't right. I said this was the consequence of her actions. I told her I could live with the consequences of not accepting Frank. That I can sleep fine at night knowing our relationship is what it is. And it isn't my problem if she can't do the same. Now she's upset and angry, and apparently, I'm the bad guy in her eyes. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Your mom made her choice. Now she's facing the consequences. Stay firm. It really baffles me how OP's mother never protected her children, but is upset when her children have no loyalty towards her. Actions have consequences. Your mom prioritized her husband over her kids for years. Now that you and your sister have moved on, she's facing the result of her own choices. That's not on you. And somehow in her mind she still made herself the victim of her choices. Not the a-hole. She's probably going to have another "Oh Pikachu" face for you when she doesn't get an invite to the wedding. Or she'll do everything she can to try and change my mind/our minds before the wedding. Unless it's divorce and disavowing Frank, I don't see it happening. And honestly, OP, I think she lied just to go. But it's important you and your sister hold firm. You need to establish these firm boundaries before you start families, because you definitely don't want your mom assuming her and Frank get grandparent privileges. It'll definitely all be a lie, because she'll either bring Frank without permission, or she'll bring him knowing he will start yelling. The fact she expected any different after my sister's graduation alone says everything. Next story. Am I the a-hole for cutting contact with my father even after the DNA results showed that I was indeed his son? My 21-year-old male parents, 52-year-old male and 45-year-old female, are currently going through a divorce. It's not a nasty situation, just a recognition that they've stopped liking each other and can no longer stand being in the same room. For some background, they've been married for just over 21 years. Yes, I was the reason they got married. And aside from me, 21 male, they have another son, 9 male, a full 11 years younger than me. About 2 weeks ago, they had the talk with their lawyers. I'm away in another region of the country for college, but according to my mom, during the discussions, my father repeatedly questioned whether I was actually his son. He claimed I had ruined his life and called my mom horrible names. His words, not mine. My mom decided to settle the matter with a DNA test, so I had to take leave from college and return home. The test was conducted with lawyers present, and throughout the entire process, my dad refused to look at me or say a single word to me. Afterward, I went back to college, and their divorce proceedings resumed. When the DNA results came back, my mom called me really cheerful and happy. I am indeed his son. The day passed without a single call from my dad. It took him 2 weeks to reach out, but I didn't answer. Honestly, I had no desire to hear from someone who had been so adamant that I was nothing but a burden his entire life. My silence was interpreted as rebellion, and now everyone on my dad's side of the family is angry with me. So my question is, should I even try to have a relationship with my dad after what he said? And how can I make him understand how deeply his words hurt me? Hey, first off, I just want to say I'm really sorry you're going through this. No one deserves to be treated like that, especially not by a parent. You're absolutely not the a-hole for cutting contact. Your father didn't just question your biology. He attacked your identity, your value, and your place in his life. That kind of betrayal cuts deep. You had to stand in a room, take a DNA test, and be treated like a stranger by someone who should have always been your biggest supporter. Now that the results proved him wrong, he only reached out when he felt like it, with no apology or accountability. That's not okay. Right now, it's okay to protect yourself, take space, and say, "That hurt me too deeply, and I need time," or choose to go no contact and walk away for good. Stay focused on your studies, your mental health, and the people who treat you with love and respect. You didn't ruin anything. He's the adult who made his own choices. Whatever you decide, you've got every right to set boundaries that protect your peace. Also, because I'm petty, for those on your dad's side of the family, they really need to be put in their place. Responses prepared below for maximum impact. Interesting how I wasn't his son until a lab said so, but now I'm supposed to be the disrespectful one for not answering his calls? Appreciate the sudden concern for family bonds. Wish that same energy had shown up before the DNA test. He called me a burden, questioned my existence, and now I'm the bad guy for not picking up the phone? Tell him to try fatherhood next time instead of damage control. Imagine needing scientific evidence to acknowledge your own child and still thinking I'm the one with issues. Funny how none of you questioned him when he was denying me, but now you're experts on respect and family values. Interesting. Good grief. I hope karma finds this man and his enabling family quickly. Thanks for the support and also for the missiles you're lending me. I think I'm gonna have a talk with them because my relationship with that side is as tumultuous as the one I have with my dad. It was your mom who told you what your dad said. That was insensitive and uncaring on her part. Obviously, it's your choice whether or not to talk to him again, but if you do, let him know what your mom told you so he has a chance to apologize. Okay, maybe that got lost in the translation too, but my mom didn't tell me. She sent me a copy of the audio recording of their conversation, which is allowed in my country. Could you send that audio recording to your dad's side of the family? Maybe respond to their messages and calls with just that until they stop reaching out. Already done. Safe to say my grandparents both had a heart attack and also threatened me to be removed from the family testament. Not much property to share anyway, so I don't care. My aunts, all of them, bombarded me with Bible quotes and family quotes like they were Vin Diesel, and my uncles are all trying to grab a drink together. They'll probably beat me up. Mini update. Crap hit the fan in a way I didn't anticipate, so I gave him a piece of my mind today. And now he is actually staying camped on his belief and has asked me to sign a paper that's going to release him from any parental rights. Life has a way to show you who matters and who doesn't. In my case, I can tear apart that entire branch of the family tree. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister she lost me the second she even considered dating my ex who gave me an STD and didn't tell me? I, 28 female, was with a guy called Jason, 29 male, when we were 20 to 21 years old. We broke up when I was 22 after I found out he had not only cheated on me, but knew he had contracted an STD from sleeping around and didn't tell me. He had known about it and was told he needed to speak to any sexual partners because of the risks associated with this STD to fertility, and he said nothing. I remember when I told my family what had happened, they were all there to support me, and my sister, 27 female, was one of them. I did move on, and I met my husband a year after breaking up with Jason. Thankfully, I was able to get pregnant, and we have a baby together. But I never forgot the fact that Jason did what he did. Cheating was bad enough, but you can move on. The STD was where it became not only unforgivable, but I would have taken issue with anyone in my family even becoming friends with him after that point. But then 3 months ago, my sister asked me if I would be okay with her dating Jason. She told me she didn't want to lose me, but they had met again after several years. She liked him, and he'd changed. I walked away from my sister without saying a word, and she started dating Jason officially. Though when she came to me like she did and asked me like she did, I would guess they had been unofficial before that point and not just friendly. I have shut my sister out of my life, and she has not been allowed to come and meet my child. The rest of the family stands with me and what I decided, but they have not shut her out of their lives, which is totally fine and not an issue for me. But my sister doesn't like that, and she has tried to get in touch with me several times. She has cried and asked me to hear her out and talk to her. I did run into her once since, and I ignored her. She was talking to me, but I acted like she was a ghost I couldn't see or hear. So she ambushed me at my house the other day and told me she doesn't want to lose me, and that she'd break up with Jason if I stop ignoring her and we can go back to being sisters. I told her she lost me the second she even considered dating him. I told her I might not have known about it in that moment, but once I heard she wanted to date him, knowing what he did to me, it was over. She's crying about it now, and our family is refusing to hear her cries about it. My baby sister, 24, told me she's trying to get the rest of the family to confront me about it, but nobody will. She does think our sister is genuinely hurt about this, but she feels like it's her own fault. And I agree. But I know what I said to her might still be overly harsh, because even thinking about it, without acting on it, would have led to this, which might be wrong of me. So I'm here to ask, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. People who are bad people, cheaters, abusers, etc., have a charming and likable side. That is how they get their victims or partners. I am always amused when someone says, "No, he's changed." Has he? Or is he just showing you the side of him he wants you to see? If he has changed, can the sister articulate how he has changed and what drove him to change? How has he made amends, or at least acknowledged the person he was? In 99.999999% of the he's changed cases, he has not changed at all. He is just in the love bombing stage. The person who believes he has changed almost always finds out the hard way that he is still a cheater, still selfish, still dishonest. He has changed so much that he happily pursued and is staying in a relationship with someone, knowing that it is destroying her relationship with her family. Not the a-hole. I'm not sure what your sister expected to happen, but that's pretty low. I am curious how holidays and family gatherings work. Since your family still allows her to show up, do you just not go? I get the invites to gatherings. They talk to her still, but she's not invited to that stuff, and it was made clear that is extra firm, because she is not allowed to bring Jason around the rest of the family. Then I would say your family is doing the right thing. Typically they stand by you, but still invite the family member that was clearly in the wrong. I've heard of that, and I always hate it. My family has really stood by me, and I'm incredibly grateful. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my fiancé? I'll leave him if he keeps using our money to support his homeless mother, who hid her foreclosure from us for years? This whole situation is a mess, and I don't know if I'm being heartless or just finally setting boundaries. My mother-in-law lost her house due to foreclosure. The twist, she never told us. For years. My fiancé and I absolutely would have helped if we had known. We're not rich by any means, but we would have done whatever we could to make sure she was able to stay in her house, especially because she lives with her severely disabled husband, my fiancé's father, and her disabled adult daughter. Now they're all homeless, and we're left scrambling. When everything came to light and they got evicted, I immediately got them an extended stay hotel and paid for a week in advance. While talking with my fiancé about how they were going to pay to live in the hotel, I was told that their disability check would be used for housing. But apparently my fiancé kept paying for their hotel and their storage unit, all using our joint bank account, without telling me. I didn't notice right away because I have a business that I'm trying to grow, and I'm busy taking care of our child. Yesterday, I finally looked at our finances and saw that over $11,000 was used for all of their expenses, and I completely lost it. I drove to the hotel and told everyone that no more of our money would be used for them. I told my fiancé that if one more cent of our money was spent, I would break the engagement and leave. It's not that I don't care about them. I do, but I feel betrayed that she hid the foreclosure from us, let the situation spiral into homelessness, and used me as a personal piggy bank. This money was meant for the new house we were supposed to be buying and also for my daughter's school. I also feel disrespected that my fiancé went behind my back and used our money without asking. Now, the morning after, I'm starting to feel guilty, like it's my fault that they're going to be on the streets. Also, I feel it's important to add that we have never had a good relationship with his side of the family. We've been together 13 years, so this isn't a new relationship. His mother has never really wanted anything to do with our daughter, except for maybe 3 holidays a year when we go to see her. Am I the a-hole for telling them that I will no longer financially help? Edit to add. They had money, they won a large settlement, a few million, and she blew it all. He's committed financial infidelity, and it's not a small thing, so don't feel compelled to excuse it, because there's so much emotional baggage that comes with this situation. In fact, I think separating finances in the short term is reasonable. Exactly, $11,000 is a huge amount to secretly spend. She didn't sign up to be the sole provider for his entire family. She has her own child to prioritize. She said it's our money, which to me means she's not the sole provider. She's angry that he didn't tell her or that he disrespected her. Actually, he wouldn't have the money if my parents didn't give me the down payment for our house that we just sold. He put no money down. Not the a-hole. I hope you move the money to an account in just your name for the time being. I'd be livid. $11,000? No damn way.